Cheers, guys. Epix911, welcome to the Elitist Geek and a VR hardware episode where I provide my first impressions on the Samsung gear that I picked up yesterday. So let's get started. So I purchased the thing from Best Buy. When it was handed to me, I had a quick twinge, just being honest, of, oh my God, what did I do? Like, not buyer's remorse, but kind of like it was so light that I was worried about the quality. And in our consumer society, we're kind of ingrained with that. If something's light, it kind of implies it might be cheap too, right? So that was definitely on my mind. Heading home, I get home, I unpack it. I realize, okay, you know what? It's just a holder. And really, other than the lens, yeah, it doesn't have to be heavy. It's not concerned with tethering itself and relaying all kinds of information to a PC, because the PC is essentially in the visor, right? It's in the HMD. And as soon as I, thought of it that way, all the strengths and advantages of the unit kind of popped up, right? So the straps, putting it on, even the rarely seen top vertical strap, you barely ever see that in pictures. Within seconds, I had everything clipped on. The phone itself, if you look at the back of it here, you can see there's ridges. Those are for all the different size phones that it supports. There is a retention clip here. Sorry, on this side. And then on this side, right over here, you can see a USB male plug. That's where your phone plugs into. So it gets locked into place. You pop that back on and you're good to go. In terms of functionality, the next thing I did, I installed all the software and I got started with it, right? Including navigating. And navigating's all done with this D-pad on the side. Looks like very much like an NES SNES D-pad of old, right? Except it's recessed. It's also a touchpad. You can tap on it. In fact, the Eve game that I was playing last night, that's your fire button. And different types of swipes for missiles, like a forward swipe. So pretty cool having the control on there. And that really works because you could sit there and just do the tapping. Yeah, you look a bit like an idiot, but it worked. It was very effective without using additional elbow space. And there's Bluetooth controllers you can use as well for gamepads, etc., right? But yeah, so that was the first game that I tried. There's a volume knob on here too, up and down, and a back button right there. You can barely see it recessed. Well, not recessed. It's up a little bit above the surface, but it's a back button. And you also have a focus dial up here, right? Because you're not able to dial in and tweak the IPD and stuff that you can on the others, but you can adjust the focus. Now, telling my wife about this is where I had the first realization about, oh my God, this thing is awesome. Because normally I would go upstairs, I would tell her, she's doing other stuff up there, and then I go back downstairs. This time, I could bring the unit with me. In fact, I brought it to work today, and my office has 15 people. All 15 tried it. All 15 enjoyed it, which is where the other part of that dawned on me. And suppose for a second, and the thought that dawned on me was the market reach potential for this unit, right? Let's suppose it only ever sells 10% of what the Rift and Vive do. And the Rift and Vive first year, let's say they do 1 million units. So these guys, 100,000 units, right? But if you add up all the exposure, all the people that have, like how many people that unit has come into contact with, you could probably have a 30-to-1 ratio, like 30 million people to 3 million that have tried the other two. So just by making this portable, they've increased their market potential. Now, you weigh that always against, is the right message going to go out, right? We want the message to be that, yes, this is VR, but no, it does not represent the high end of what virtual reality is capable of. It is, in fact, an entry-level, low-end. There's no offense by that. That's an accurate statement, but that's what it's designed for. And a focus on media. It will do games, but it can do media just as well as the Rift and Vive. Video codecs are not that taxing for the Galaxy S7 or any of those phones, really. What's taxing is the GPU, the graphics, right? And you can hide a lot of that. A lot of that's illusion that you're hiding because you're dealing with a much smaller screen, even if it's magnified in here, right? But video applications on par, level playing field, you can compare them. And that's the other advantage, is being able to lie in bed and watch a Netflix by yourself. You can do that with this unit. Haven't quite figured out how to adjust it to make, the stuff on the ceiling, like make your vision plane horizontal going up as opposed to this way. I know it can be done. I just got to figure out today how that works. But yeah, this could be a number one media device compared to the Rift and Vive for videos, for music, for other types of VR interaction that don't penalize this mobile GPU, right? But instead cater to its strengths, because you're not going to win a battle against the Vive and the Rift that are powered with Pascal Titan X's SLI running VRWorks. Not even freaking close. You don't even want to be part of that conversation. It's just not going to happen. But watching videos, watching 360-degree content, yeah, you are on the same damn playing field then with the Rift and the Vive people. So cater to its strengths and acknowledge its weaknesses. That's just going to be the reality of this unit, right? Now, moving forward, that doesn't mean I don't want to see games on it. I played that Eve game I mentioned, and it was a blast. It was a lot of fun to play. I tried a couple of other apps as well. The one complaint that I had is I had to buy some games twice in the Oculus store. I don't agree with that, in principle. Even though, yeah, I'm the guy who bought GTA 5 for the PS3, PS4, and the PC on Steam sale. I bought it 3 times and won it twice. But I love that game, right? I don't want that to be par for the course for every single game. But yeah, that Eve game, I first accidentally bought it on the Oculus Rift store. Then I purchased it again, not realizing, on the Samsung Gear's Oculus store. So that kind of sucks that you can't reuse the same purchased games, that you got to repurchase them. So hopefully that's something they change, but I got a feeling don't hold your breath on that. So would I recommend this to people? I would say, look, as long as you're aware that this does not represent high-end or even mainstream virtual reality in terms of what those capabilities are, right? You will have strengths buying this unit. You're going to have strengths in terms of mobility, in terms of portability, in terms of applications that are, delivered on a level playing field, like the videos we talked about, 360-degree content, all kinds of stuff like that. It's the gaming where you're mostly going to notice the difference, because it's just a superior offering on the Rift and the Vive when you take into account the positional tracking that those units do, that this one sadly does not, right? It's has some functionality in there. Obviously, you move your head. It's got head tracking, but there's no positional tracking for anything else. If you're going into it knowing all of that, yeah, grab it. It's still a way to enjoy VR. Mostly a subset of VR, but you can still enjoy it. Now, I say that with plenty of gaming left to do on it, and I have no doubt I'm going to find some awesome games for the Samsung Gear VR. In fact, I enjoyed that Eve game, right? It was a fun little arcade-style shooter. Long-term, I don't know. And we'll revisit that. I'm going to take another look back at this maybe a month, 2 months from now. And it could be that I'm wiping cobwebs off it for that video. Or it could be that I found out all kinds of other cool things, because you guys have been awesome with the suggestions for what I should be installing on this. So I've got all kinds of cool tips. I've written them all down, guys. I will be implementing them and checking them out. So thank you for that. So that's basically it, guys. That is kind of my impression of the Samsung Gear VR so far, that I like the unit. I do not regret buying it. I recognize already it's ranked third in my collection, for those of you keeping track of the score. But, and I'd have to say, no, let's clarify. It's 1A, 1B, and 2 is how I would rank it, right? But that's not to say it's bad. It's not. It's just the main reason I want VR is for games. And this doesn't deliver quite the same level, but it will offer some level. And I'm okay with that. That's good enough for me. All right, guys. Hope you found that informative. If you have any questions on the unit, let me know, and I will try my best to answer them. Until then, cheers, guys, and we will see you on the news flip side.